recording. It's about to get serious.
We're about to get serious. Yeah,
Hey!
about to get serious. There we are, Dunners. Good to see you.
Likewise, Tommy, Happy New Year. Did you have a good one?
Happy New Year, mate. Yes, Happy New Year to all our listeners as well. Great to have you with us. I had a quiet New Year's, actually. I had a bit of a party the night before New Year's, so I had to take it easy. So, asleep before the bells, the whole lot, yeah.
No way.
Did you stay up?
That is so typical of you. Knowing you from nights out, you've never been known for your doubling up or tripling up. You're no Andy Powell when it comes to back-to-backs.
No, one off. All or nothing for me, Dunners. All or nothing. I was dying all day yesterday. The two of us, myself and Lucy, with pizza, bag of crisps and off to bed.
Do you know what? You actually prove Newton's law. To every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So the high you go up on, it also comes crashing down, doesn't it?
Check you out with your Newton's laws.
Fella, I did physics in school.
You. We all did physics in school, Dunners. Did you stay up for it or what?
Oh, yes. Jenny and Anna, my little girl, made a good decision to go to bed quite early, and we stayed up. Then the four of us stayed up, kind of counting it in and jumping around channels. But it was a bad night in Cork, and we were hoping that you could go out and see the fireworks, but because of the weather, you could just see like flashes as opposed to like them setting off, if you know what I mean.
Did they have a big fireworks show?
No, they didn't. But normally, if you stand out in the garden, you see some going off from kind of maybe around a hotel or something like that.
2 sparklers out the back.
Exactly, and that's not going too far in it. So then we watched Cian de Crow on RT counting in the new year. And you know what? Fair play to him. He saw the window like he's on for 10 minutes and he's there. Here's 2 off my brand new album, and they're like, sing
the stuff that we know. Like you're massive on TikTok and away with your new stuff.
Keep the new stuff, fella. Give us the hits.
I hate that. You know, you go to a concert and you sit there and you're like, this is just a new song we have off the. I'm like, I didn't pay this money to go listen to the new stuff.
For you to practice. I don't fault him the slightest, though. He knew we had the window and he took total advantage of it. I'm
a big fan of Cian, though, so fair play to him. It's class. Good on him. Lovely fella as well. How are you getting on to the kids? Like, are they ready to go back, or are you ready for them to go back?
Yeah. I think all of us get a healthy respect for teachers that we slag off all year round, and then when we're with our own kids, you're like, oh, blessed are those teachers. Bar Michael O'Leary again to have another dig at him.
Get nothing done, but where our pair are killing each other.
Yeah,
they've had enough of each other. The toys are all played with. You know, it's like, let's get this lot back to school quick.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. So when do you go back?
They're actually back today. Today. So great.
Magic.
Just, I know, quick taste.
Wow.
So happy bloody days. Yeah, exactly. And then back normality at the weekend, and then proper back in next week. So
I actually think ours are going to have a massive come down. There's been junk and sweets and rubbish most days. There's been late nights. You know what I mean? It's been a free for all.
Unreal. Well, it's not just the kids. I feel the same myself. My first 4 o'clock start is going to be some shock to the system. I am off the wagon big time. It's great.
You see, there's where you're a better person than me, Tommy. Because if I was getting up at 4 o'clock and you weren't, I'd be ringing you. I'd be FaceTiming every time.
Just check and see if you're awake.
Yeah. You all right, fella? Enjoy your sleeping.
We've had because Emma and Jamie, they're 7 and 4 now, so you kind of like the friends. They always want to like them in the house. It just, you know yourself, it gets chaotic. So it's great to just meet up with the couples and let the kids all play together and stuff. So we've done that loads, and I've actually had a couple of play dates that turn into having a few drinks, and the crack has been great. But I'll tell you, I've had an absolute disaster today. Yesterday, remember I told you about, Christmas presents, want something practical, like a hammer. And you said, I can't see you be much good with the old hammer now. The old DIY wouldn't be a forte.
Unless it's got like a squeaky noise. Honk, honk.
Give me the gift vouchers. I regret saying hammer. So I got Lucy one of these water purifiers.
Oh, right.
Like clean the water, nice
Do you know
clean
what?
water, filtered.
You absolutely spoil that girl. You know that between
Exactly.
that and the between that and the Hoover, there's nothing more she could ever want.
She was delighted with it. Is that not a good present? No.
Honestly, that is up there again with the Homer Simpson bowling ball.
Shit, that's going to get me in trouble again. But I did, and she loved it. She couldn't believe it was a surprise. A whole lot.
Tommy, you're a gobshite, man.
Well, I thought that was a lovely present. Thoughtful. She wants nice. She's always drinking her water. This is nice, clear, proper water. Right. So after Christmas, it's been a bit dusty. I've had a few drinks. The crack has been good. Waking up every morning, she says, "Are you going to put that in yet?" And to try and.
Sorry, you've to do. It's not a Brita yolk that you put in the fridge, no?
No. This is have to unscrew the pipes underneath underneath the kitchen
Tommy,
sink.
Stop talking, man.
Hook this up to it. Hook you're kind of both ends. Sort out the filter, and away we go. Right. So it's listen. You watch YouTube videos of it. Looks very easy, right? But I tried to do it. Didn't have the right wrench, so I was like, right, stuck with it. And my dad obviously must have been listening to the podcast because he got me one of these vice grips for Christmas.
Of course,
and
he
like
did.
do you have like the screwdriver that tells like if there's a current coming through, like electric, a little light on it?
Joking me?
No, me neither. It's like, you need one of those, son. I'm like 40, Dad. It's a bit late.
My father-in-law called one day and he was there. You wouldn't have a Phillips screwdriver. I was there checking there with the utensils. I haven't a clue. Like a toolbox, square out of it.
Okay, well, you're going to be with me on this story, right? So anyway, today's the day. I thought, right, New Year, we're going to get this water filter set up. We're going to be all drinking clean water. So under the sink in the kitchen I go. And it's tiny, the little space, right? So you're clearing out all the dishwasher tablets and the whole lot, moving that all to the side. Had to go then to my neighbour and ask him, does he have a load of spanners? Because I didn't have anything that fit. So he then gave me a couple of spanners.
Can I ask, when you asked him, were you kind of fishing? Were you kind of hoping he'd kind of go, Tommy, I'll give you a hand there, fella. Yeah, and then basically you make a cup of tea and leave him at it.
No harm to Mike. He's across the road. He might not be listening, but he knows he's as good as me in these situations. Right?
Mike, you're useless.
The amount of digging he had to do to find these spanners shows
Welcome to the club, Mike.
We're not getting much use out of them. Anyway, we under the sink I went, had to learn how to turn off the water. I'm there trying to find the thing to turn it off. So turned the water off. Turned out there was Lucy had a wash on downstairs. So all of a sudden the washing machine's going mental because it's run out of water. So it's like, right, crack on, keep on going. So I'm underneath the thing, and I don't know, like I'm a winger, I'm meant to be supple enough, but I felt like you underneath this sink. There's not much room. I had one spanner on one of the nuts and the other one on the other, but my arm around the pipe for like the bottom of the sink.
Oh, no.
And they're pulling it. And literally then it just wasn't budging. And then all of a sudden a bit of water starts going. All right, here we go.
Here
Even
we
though
go.
there shouldn't be water. So I gave it one massive whoosh, and it clicks open, whatever. But while I did that, I knocked the bottom of the sink out.
Oh.
So the bottom of the sink, the pipe has fallen out of it. So, and the muck off that, disgusting. That's disgusting. Disgusting. So I'm there, right, the sink's not working. Then I think, right, so then I realised that the pipe then that I had been unscrewing was actually just an extension. It wasn't actually the one that I needed to open up to add in the filter.
You langer.
So I had to tighten it back up again, go back up the thing. Couldn't. Anyway, I'm not going to attempt where it is. It's too far. It's right up the back of the sink. So anyway, we've no sink. I had to ring a mate. We've no kitchen sink.
I love that. It's not that we even tried to fix it. It's like
that's gone. That's not working anymore.
Brilliant.
It's one of these big basin sinks. It ain't working. Everything that was in it, gone. All the sludge that was there, gone.
It now holds flower pots. That's it.
So then I thought, right, I had to go upstairs, tell Lucy, here, listen, I think, so she said, this is your New Year's resolution. Your New Year's resolution is to never do any DIY ever again.
Magic. Win.
Happy days, win-win.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was fine. So like, flip's sake, right, okay, that's a disaster. Had to call a mate who is a handy DIY. So he was going to come around to have a look at it.
I was just about to say, you did well there, because trying to get a plumber, man, forget about it.
No, he's
Teeth.
very, very handy, and sort him out with a bit of Flow by Bowe, you know.
Oh, did you? Kit still works,
Not
doesn't
that
it?
he hadn't got
It's
it for
amazing.
Christmas anyway.
There you go. Thanks a million for that. Here's an Ireland's for this family top.
I'd prefer a few quid if you don't mind.
I spoil you. There you go. There's a copy of Disaster Dad.
Oh, your skin
Perfect
will be
for all
looking
their
great,
seven.
but you won't be of any money for dinner tonight. He walks out going, Jesus, he lumps into the back of the van. What I get this shit for?
Rugby lads, they're so tight.
Here, do you want a pair of old rugby shorts? I swear I've got some kit here somewhere.
Wow.
Anyway, he left, took the bottom of the sink to try and go get a replacement for me, and there was dishes everywhere. I was like, I just thought, right, well, let's just clear it up here, and I had to go take the kids out, so filled up the dishwasher, stuck on the dishwasher, off I went with the kids, and I get a phone call from Lucy going, what have you done? The dishwasher's linked to the sink. The kitchen's flooded.
It is like a scene out of Mr. Bean. It really is. Do you know what, Tommy? It's hard to get through a day, man, isn't it? You know, and do you know what? You're not the problem. Like, it's these, real men and women that can do stuff like that. They bring the rest of us down.
The YouTube videos. I watched 4 YouTube videos, and it looks so easy.
Yeah. Blame the YouTubers.
These things never are easy. So I've flooded the kitchen. The sink doesn't work. I'm down.
God.
I'm trying to wash the dishes in the tiny downstairs toilet sink. It's an absolute disgrace.
Brilliant. Good on you, Tommy.
Happy
Good
New
on
Year.
you. Yeah,
Happy
there you
New
go.
Year.
What a way to ring it in. But can I ask you, genuinely, I know you with a heart and a half, you tried to help there, but are you a bit like me? You don't kind of want to get better at DIY. Like, would you go off and do a course?
No, I've no patience for it. I've no interest in it. I hate it. But when you see something, you can't, like, I also don't want to have to ask my mate, the DIY fella, to come down to go and fit a like, Jimmy, this should, like, it's a bit embarrassing asking people to come in and do stuff like that.
No, you need to get to the level that we've hit in our house. So the toilet seat fell off there before Christmas. And Anna,
I could do that. Come on now.
Could
you?
you?
Do the toilet
No, hold
seat.
on. But Anna didn't even run it by me. My little girl walked out and went, Mom, the toilet seat's off. Will you give Papa, they call their granddad, Papa a shout. Give Papa a shout to fix that. They don't even see me when it comes to stuff like that. It's like, and I'm there. That's a good call, Anna. Good on you.
But is Papa handy?
Yeah,
Does Jenny look at you and think you're like Lucy's
Yeah.
dad is very handy and just
are.
looks like
That
me. I'm just not a real
generation,
man at all.
Yeah, that generation, they're on it, whereas we're absolute disasters. But sure, what about
I lose interest and then the sink falls out and what do you do then? Do you mean
Well, you did the classic us type of thing. When it's not working, just bring brute force, which never is the answer. You know what I mean?
I literally yanked it and broke it. And then I'm there trying to Google the bottom of the sink that it is that I'd be looking to try and replace. Do you mean? I'm like, what do I even call this?
Honestly, it's a scene out of Father Ted now. Watch this. All of a sudden, it'll start with the sink and it'll end up you with a brand new kitchen. You nearly had it there at the start, Ted. With the car and the little dent.
The little dent.
Perfect, Tommy. That's honestly, Lucy sees the bigger game here. She's going to have a new kitchen by the end of this. She's there, whatever about it.
There you have it. Right. So that's my New Year's resolutions. No more DIY for 2025.
Brilliant.
Or ever. And I'm going to start practicing mindfulness to get myself over this.
Would you give it a go, mindfulness?
But no, actually, this is something I've been kind of thinking. I'd like to try and, like, everyone you read talking about mindfulness and meditation. No one says a bad word about it.
No,
like, we did
true.
a little bit of during the Joe Schmidt kind of era.
Yeah.
And, like, it was good. But even I was listening to Johnny Sexton talking about it, like, how it actually helps. So I kind of thought, right, I'm going to try and do it every day in January. and see if I can actually find out what all this myth is all about, because it must work.
There must be something to it, definitely.
No.
I did a course on meditation one time, and what I actually found, Tommy, is I used to get really nearly frustrated, nearly a little bit aggressive.
That's the complete opposite of what it's meant to be.
I know, but I think there's a part of it where you nearly need to go through all that. You know what I mean? But I kept kind of seeing it. I know this sounds awful, and I don't mean any disrespect to anyone that meditates. I'm envious of you. But I kept on thinking, I've so much to be doing now at the moment that this is a waste of my time. And I know that's the absolute opposite of what it's meant to be doing.
But that is in the back of my mind. I'm going like, this must be coming up on 20 minutes. Like, I really need to go do something here.
Give it a go. Give it a go. I'd love to see how you go.
Going downstairs, and I was like trying to get, and it's like, find somewhere that you won't be distracted. It's the middle of the Christmas holidays.
Yeah, forget about it.
So I'm trying to find a little room.
There's
in the
Tommy
house.
under the sink. This is my only safe spot.
No one will find me there. No one. Go where you at least expect to see him.
Exactly. You're trying to fix that for about 4 hours. There you are with an eye mask on, snoring.
Lucy walks in, she goes, you're not doing meditation again, are you? Like, shut up, I'm trying here. Yeah. Either that, or maybe you're going to try and do a bit of Lego or something. Maybe that'll kind of a distraction-y type thing.
Jacob Stockdale's good for that. I remember hearing that he used to do that in camp. He'd take on those really difficult jigsaw pieces.
Yeah.
Right? Or not jigsaw,
I have a couple of them. And like, if you did like 15, 20 minutes of that a day, that's kind of mindfulness, isn't it? Like switching the brain off a bit.
Paint by numbers and stuff like that.
Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Are you doing any resolutions?
I was thinking of maybe giving the ice baths back a go. Just, the way everyone's into them at the moment.
Yeah.
I used to find them beneficial, Tommy.
Your love for it. You were great at an ice bath. You'd head under and everything.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what I always had to keep out? My fingers. For some reason, I always found if you got your hands in, it was hell.
It's the fingers and toes is the worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see, I do ice baths all day long if I could wear the boots.
Yeah, very true. Remember jumping in with the marigold gloves on your feet? Willie Bennett.
Willie Bennett.
How ahead of the game was Willie Bennett? Like,
tell people about Willie Bennett.
Willie Bennett
is, and about the van, the library van outside the hotel up
Willie
in
Bennett
City West.
has been the Irish masseur for Genie. He's been there when Eric Elwood, Keith Wood. He's been there for generations. Yeah. He's an institution. He's the nicest man. Yeah, and we chatted about him on the pod with Joe Schmidt. He's just a positive, good guy to be around. Massive Limerick man, passionate about all sports, but loves rugby, loves horse racing, and actually Joe mentioned it that they sent him down to Cheltenham. He's a guy you just you want to be around him, isn't he? He's just positive and
a
nice
dose
man.
of penicillin. That's what he was. But he's the masseuse for the team, and he's been there for what 20-30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Willie has. But remember, he brought in this. He invested all his money on a big old, like it was like a horse trailer, wasn't it?
That's what it was, yeah. And he put in these like cryotherapy baths, and one was hot and one was cold, and we brought it out to that World Cup in 2007 in France.
He drove it all the way.
He brought it the whole way out. And to be fair to him, we were probably really well recovered, but that was probably the problem. Like, honestly, Tommy, if we'd gone well in that World Cup, people wouldn't have shut up about Willie Bennett's van. But because it went like a bag of shite, it was packed up.
I mean, those trucks weigh, a couple of ton, but with all the ice baths and everything in it. God, he'd be driving up the motorway in France, going like from Van to Paris. I mean, about 50 kilometers an hour on the motorway. This thing,
no better
water
to take it on
everywhere. He'd be like, I decided not to drain the water. Save time.
Oh, of all the regrets at the World Cups, that's the one that we've left poor Willie Bennett down in 2007.
I used to remember it was parked outside the city. No, what hotel? It was up in Killiney Castle.
Oh, yeah.
And we used to have to do a horrific session in the middle of winter. You'd be coming back to the hotel freezing, and then you'd be like, right, out to Willie's van here, and he'd have this massive big ice bath and a hot pool as well. And remember, just I hated ice bath tunnels.
Yeah.
I hated it.
Well,
Was it like
to
a
be
minute?
fair, you were as lean as lettuce. Like, you know what I
Minute
mean?
on, minute off, but you had the record. You were in for like 6 minutes or something into the
Yeah,
cold
yeah,
one.
yeah. I used to be able to kind of go with. I did find it really good for recovery. Maybe it's mental more so than anything, but I always felt kind of fresh after it. So I'm gonna try to give them a go for the new year.
So have you a wheelie bin, or what are you going to do?
That's what myself. My kids were in stitches. I was like basically wrestling a wheelie bin there a while ago, trying to clean it out. So that's what I'm gonna give it a go with.
Do you know, I want to get a sauna. It's the sauna. That's what all the players nowadays are talking about.
Yeah.
To hell with the cold. It's all about the saunas.
Yeah, but then the thing is, I always think you can go to somewhere to use one, couldn't you? Rather than
Well, you could, yeah. Be nice to have one in your house, so wouldn't it? How cool that.
Yeah. I'd get you round to install it.
Come on, let's quickly talk a bit about rugby, because there's not much
Rugby,
happening this
what's
weekend.
the point in chatting about rugby? Don't worry about that. It'll never kick
There's
off.
no URC this weekend. Like, what the hell?
What the hell?
Like, what is actually going on? That it's, I mean, 1st of January, this is always big fixtures around New Year's.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is a bit odd that there's, like, URC have no matches during the autumn internationals.
Now,
I don't know, they've a
we did
couple
have-
during Six Nations, but it is weird to have a weekend with no rugby at all.
Yeah, there was a few of them there. Like Cardiff and the Ospreys, that was on New Year's Day. That was a good game. And there was,
A draw, 13-all,
Yeah. So there has been a bit of it, but there's a kind of break week. I don't like it, Tommy. I think they got 100%. I understand the kind of player management side of it, but going into to be fair, it is a massive advantage as well for all the URC teams, isn't it? If you think of Europe,
A rest week.
before we go on and take on, because there's massive games. If you look at
Well, if you've got Munster, they've got Saracens at home next week.
Yeah.
You've got so it's Saracens, then Northampton. So to be fair, you want that break, don't you? Like Ulster
100% do.
of Leicester Tigers, Exeter, Leinster of La Rochelle and Bath. Holy shit, that's going to be tough. Connacht, then Leon and Cardiff.
But you look at what they're doing in the meantime. I think Saracens are playing Bristol, and I think La Rochelle are playing Toulouse. So like, it's hardly like that you can, you know what I mean, pitch out and not go full bar there. They've got to go all out there.
Oh, is that who they've got this weekend?
Yeah. There's big advantages for the kind of URC teams this time around, isn't it?
Yeah, you can see that. Saracens at home to Bristol Bears, yeah. And, that's going to be a cracker. La Rochelle Toulouse, then La Rochelle Leinster. That's 2 big weeks for them, isn't it?
And what about Bristol with Harry Byrne signing as well? Will he go straight in?
Well, that's the big news, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
AJ McGinty, their kind of out half, is injured himself. So they've got Harry Byrne in for, I think it's a 3-month loan.
3 months, yeah.
Listen, I kind of like it. What do you think? Are you a fan of loans, or like even Harry Byrne? What do you make of it?
Yeah, I had no appreciation for loans until I went to Worcester, and then all of a sudden you saw how vital it was to make sure that everyone was useful within the squad. And I actually found it great. Our players that went out on loan came back, Tommy, really appreciative of the setup. Because, some of the leagues you might go down, they mightn't have like the facilities or the coaching. And it was a great little humbler. Now, that's not going to be the case for him, but he's going to a team with massive aspirations.
Well, they're second in the league, aren't they? They're second in the Premiership at the minute. So he's going and being playing top level. Like, listen, I think it's brilliant.
He's going to win a Prem, isn't he? That's why they're signing him.
What an opportunity for him. Like, he's been talked about for a number of years that this guy is the real deal. He was always behind his brother Ross. Like, if you look at it, Leinster, you've got obviously Harry, you've got Ross, you've got Kieran Frawley, you've Prendergast, you've Charlie Tector, the young 10, who they believe is going to be the next big deal as well. Like, what? I don't understand this with Leinster. I kind of was looking at some of the back rowers and stuff as well. The likes of the Max Deegan, Scott Penny's, Will Connors. Like, they're going to play a handful of times every year. They're not going to play in the big games, probably. Like, are they not chomping at the bit to play every week, to go to the Premiership? Send me out on loan. Let me play. I don't want to train all the time. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, well, there's a bit of a balance in it. You look at the other environment as well, and you wonder, would you get coaching like it? Would you get facilities like it? Will you develop like it? So maybe they think within the system, I'm going to become a better player. If I'm around this, even though I mightn't get as many game minutes, I'm
Or do you
going to
think they're
improve.
playing expectant, just wanting to wear the tracksuit and hopefully win a medal?
Yeah, well, you'd hope not, wouldn't you? You'd hope not. But then again, that's...
But you become a professional rugby player to play matches.
Yeah, but then...
Like Harry Byrne must have been so frustrated when this opportunity came up. I'd say he was like, get me over, give me a go.
He's there with the goggles on, swimming to Bristol.
Yeah, well, I would be. Do you mean? Like, I want to play matches. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I hate training.
There was rumours, wasn't there, last summer that he was meant to be chatting to Connacht or Ulster, one of the other provinces. So maybe he, and I don't fault him, he kind of backed himself a bit that he could make it. And unfortunately, the way things have gone, and now they probably, put Sam up
Ahead
from,
of him,
yeah, from where he probably would have seen the pecking order to the start. So I kind of admire him in ways to get out and get playing.
Well, exactly. No, listen, I'm a big fan of it, and I think it'll only do Leinster a favour getting another player to, like, if you think about the 5 out halves that they have there, that's one off the books, get him playing some good rugby. And he could come back next season, even a completely changed man, could be a way better player again and take the number 1 spot over there.
The thing is, though, I wonder, are we at the point with rugby that we might need a little bit of a transfer window? Is there room for a January transfer window? I know we're going just kind of copying soccer with this, but I like the idea of that. If you could strengthen your squad now, should there be a little window of just little trading within the systems to kind of go, listen, we're badly down a hooker. Like if you look at Welsh teams at the moment, if there was a young hooker knocking around that isn't going to get any game time, is it better that their wages are rolled by someone else and it can free up more coin?
Well, what about even just in an Irish setup, that it comes from David Humphreys, the director of performance, that he says, okay, at January time, Ulster are in need of a back rower. We're going to send Jack Conan up there for the next 3-4 months because he's not playing much rugby. Ulster
Jack
have...
Conan will play every time, man. He's a hell of a player.
Of course he is. And he's probably going to play for Leinster. just hypothetically.
Yeah.
But like there's lots of positions that the other provinces could benefit from 1 or 2 players that are surplus to requirement, and even surplus to requirement up in Ulster, surplus to requirement down in Munster. Do you know, it's not just Leinster would be losing players.
Of course, I don't think the only teams that can match the money of someone like Leinster and probably run someone like Harry's bill is the likes of a Bristol or is a big wealthy club.
But if it's just kept in Ireland, then they don't have to worry about it because the RFU are funded anyway.
Yeah, but this is where you wonder, like, you know what I mean? How come all those players are happy to stay? I always think about it. You know what I mean?
That's what I don't get.
Yeah. Well, it must be worth their while. You know what I mean? They're not staying to hang around for no other reason. I think that it's most likely financially beneficial for them to be within these environments and in these squads. If
you think that Leinster are playing them that, like, do you not think that if they went to England or France, they get good money?
Yeah, I don't. I think they would with certain clubs. You will with Bristol, you will with Bath, and I'd probably call that's probably it in England. Maybe in France, there's probably a bit more opportunity with more of the clubs if they badly need you, but not as much with certainly none of the URC teams. And I think bar the exception of those 2 English teams, I don't think there's budget for anyone else.
I don't know. I just kind of think if I'm 26, 27, I'm not playing that much. There's an opportunity to go and play in England or play in France, maybe for a little bit less money to start off with. I just would want to play.
I don't think they're moving for less money. I think they're moving for equal money, and that the Irish provinces can't afford to pay that wage. So I would question, are Leinster probably giving more money on top of what they...
I don't think they are. I don't think they could be giving them more money.
Well, it's interesting to kind of work out, though, isn't it? In terms of how come everyone is so happy to... Like, you're saying you wouldn't be happy to sit in your ass. I wouldn't. The majority of people wouldn't.
If you think that all 4 provinces have the same budget money, which we know that they don't, But
They don't.
Leinster have, say, 12 or 13 on a national contract. So that means that 12 or 13 of their best players are being majority covered by the IRFU. So that money then can go back in to look after the rest of their squad. So I suppose their tier 2 and tier 3 players are getting paid more money than what they could get in the other provinces. Is that what you're reckoning?
I can just give personal experience of it. I remember with Matt Williams, I subbed Ireland A and I came on, and I remember we were coming back on the bus from Belfast. The game was on up in Ravenhill, and he sat in beside me and wanted to chat. Would I consider having my contract moved from Munster up to Leinster? And if I did that, he could provide me with this, this and this.
Okay, right.
And now that's that could be over 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So Leinster have always probably had the financial...
I think there's something within the IRFU now that you can't be seen to offer more than the other provinces. It has to be kept the same. Like if for instance,
well, if that's
say
Ulster,
RG
then.
Well, you see, RG. I don't think Munster could afford to keep RG Snyman anymore. So he was being let go.
I think it was more so they were given the choice, him or Klein, is the way that one went down.
But he's not an Irish qualified player.
Yeah,
so say for instance, Robbie Henshaw, it was to go to Connacht. Like Connacht couldn't offer him more money than he's been offered at Leinster. I don't think.
But they could offer him a car and accommodation and... Okay,
well, that's separate, I suppose. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's where, the powerhouse of Leinster are way ahead, You're asking why people are happy. Of course they're happy if you're in a good environment. But of course, if you're earning better salaries than you will everywhere else, you're going to be happy. Yeah.
If you're a listener and you know more than we do, let us know.
Yes, exactly.
Get in touch. But listen, fair play to Harry Byrne. Be interested to see if he is playing that Saracens match this weekend. An Irish player. I'd say a lot of the other provinces would love to get their hands on him, but unfortunately it doesn't look like there was the opportunity there. And he's the potential of going on to win an English Premiership this year under... Pat Lamb's still head coach there.
Pat Lamb's the man. And do you know what I think? It's going to be really beneficial for them. Like the way they attack... Like Bristol are known for going for it. Now it all came up for them against Sale. Sale handed them their ass at the weekend, but they're an attacking team. I think Harry Byrne has experience. When you have to run plays for the opposition. So I would take it. He's been doing that role for Leinster the last kind of few months. Yeah. I would say his skill set playing into a blitz is quite incredible at the moment. So. He won't be daunted in any way. His training minutes from Leinster could really add to Bristol's attack.
Can you imagine the training that they're doing in Leinster? Do you mean like the A team against the B team there? I mean, you're not going to get much better than that. No, it's going to be a brilliant opportunity for him. And listen, I'd say he could absolutely kill it over there. And I'd love to see him go well, and that other players might think, you know what, maybe a loan is something I'm going to look for as well. Here, let's quickly finish up because there is no really other rugby, but there was this story that interested me on the news at the minute. The guy Magnus Carlsen, does he mean anything to you?
Magnus Carlsen, is he away?
He's not playing at Bristol.
is he a tight head that just signed for Leinster?
Another one. No. He is the world #1 chess player. Magnus Carlsen has said he's going to return to the major chess competition after the sports governing body agreed to relax its dress code. Right.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is the #1. Did you watch The Queen's Gambit? Was it The Queen's Gambit? Great show, wasn't it? About the chess. Brilliant. Yes. Who would have thought a show would be so good about chess?
If you haven't seen that, watch it. It's great.
And I watched some other documentary about poker players or chess players recently. They're mental. Like seeing some of the countries, how big this is.
Can you play?
Not very well, no.
No, we used to play it in school. It was great.
People who play against me who are good at it hated playing against me though, because I go very unorthodox. Do you mean do you know the things you're meant to do? Follow the pattern. I'm just pulling the queen out of nowhere. It's like you're not meant to attack from the back. Where's this come from?
Love it. I love it. Anyway. You're like Willie Bennett in table tennis. Willie the Wall.
Willie the Wall. It's no getting past Willie.
Just returns everything.
It's just a backhand. I mean, slam it all day long. It keeps coming back to Willie the Wall. Anyway, Magnus Carlsen, he was in the World Chess Championships, whatever else, but decided to wear jeans. But they've a very strict dress code, and they told him that he had to obviously change his dress code. He said no. He had to pay a massive fine of $200 for breaching the dress code. And he said, no, I'm going to quit then. So I'm going to walk out. Anyway, they've decided to reach an agreement. He's going to come back and he's going to join the chess competition. But
will he get to wear his jeans, or he's going to stick to the rules?
I think he's going to have to stick to the rules, but they have agreed to relax the dress code.
Okay.
So it is getting a bit. And to be fair, like there's a picture of him here. He's wearing it's almost double denim. He's a chess player.
Well,
go for it.
He deserves to be kicked. He deserves to be kicked out. Full stop for that. Like, who does he think he is? The Edge, double denim.
Were you ever in the dress code committee in Munster or anything?
No, I was never on dress code. Yeah, I was never on dress code.
We used to have
tough role.
It's a tough role.
Yeah,
we used to have the dress role thing, and myself and Trimby were up against the dress code committee at one stage because we wanted
took them on.
We wanted to be able to wear flip flops going through the airport.
No, Tommy, no.
All hell broke loose.
Of course it did. Please tell me you didn't win.
Mutiny.
Yeah.
Justin Harrison was in the dress code committee. Remember Justin Harrison?
Yeah.
The big Gug Egg, the big second row from Australia. He was the ultimate tough nut, trying to take him on. So he's like, mate, no chance. And we were...
Aussies are strict, aren't they? Like, I remember Jim Williams when he came in.
I thought he'd be mad for it.
Yeah, no, he always shorts below the knee and a collar at food.
I know, what's that all about?
Tommy, I like it. I think we're losing an awful lot of that kind of stuff. I look at punditry for rugby at the moment, and it's shocking. Like, rugby, for me, it's shirt and tie, like. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. I hate shirt and tie.
No, the game deserves it.
It's so
like that
stuffy.
chess player. No,
it's so stuffy and old. You're just being George Hook again. Here you go.
Oh,
all right, George. Come on.
No, I don't think so.
Tom McGurk.
I actually think it's a respect for the people that you're chatting to. You know what I mean? If it shows that you made the effort, just in the exact same way that you brought your number ones after games, events, visiting teams, because you showed we respect you so much. We're going to tog out. Do you remember when Eddie O'Sullivan had us travelling in number ones?
We'd have to travel. That's the number one. Now, number ones is just shirt and tie and jacket. It's not actually the Dickie Bowe on.
No, that's black tie.
That's the black tie. Yeah. Sorry.
Sorry. Just to give a bit of context, all our clothing was ranked from kind of black tie down to like dress code number 6, which is basically flip flops, a t-shirt, and a pair of shorts. What you wear around
the team hotel, exactly. Yeah. And I said sorry, Tom McGurk and George Hook. I should say Brent Pope as well, who always looked fairly dapper, and he's loving listening to the pod as well. Actually, so
no way. Of course, a good dresser like him who always togged out.
Exactly. And he didn't agree with you being George Hook at all. He thought you're much better.
Cheers, thanks.
But so you think that it's getting too... Now, I am a big believer. I hate seeing pundits with shirt and tie watching a match. And I kind of think that is so stuffy. It's stuck up. People are sitting in their living room watching this, chilling out, and you're watching these people dissect the match. I'm like, get with the times, lads. It needs to be... I'm more relaxed all the way.
Yeah, look, I respect that. I can hear why. I just think since COVID, everything's got too relaxed. And I think if rugby is to be true to what it's about, and I think the dress codes show respect. So when you are in a shirt and tie, exactly what you used to do in school, after you played someone, you put on your school uniform, even though it was a Saturday. You togged out. It was like, I remember getting slag going home because you know what I mean, your Christian's uniform going through town on a Saturday, but it's because you probably played against one of the Dublin teams or you were away down to Rockwell or something like that, and I think it's respectful, and I think the game should try to hold on to it a little bit, and I don't think we should lose it a bit on the punditry. I think actually they should drive it on.
I don't agree with the punditry side, but I do agree with after matches. And I do think that players should be wearing their shirt and tie, blazer if you have it, because it is a bit of respect and it is the values of what rugby is. Like, do you remember back after matches, Dunners, we used to have to, like, you'd play a full-blown international and there'd be a black tie dinner after every international match. You'd have to go back to the hotel, get the black tie tux on, to go and listen to all the Alaka-doos in the Berkeley Court Hotel.
First you to go and get into your number one straight after the match to just go up to the reception. Then you to go back to the hotel, change into your black tie and go to the like gala dinner or whatever it was.
And you're sitting there around a big table and mixing half the team with the other. To be fair, I kind of missed that as well. I did kind of enjoy mixing with the opposition a little bit as well, but it got a bit frosty at times. I remember Chris Jack. Was it Chris Jack, the second row from New Zealand?
Yeah. Was he getting frosted a bit?
He threw a lamb chop bone at Neil Best.
Hold on, that's just going crazy. You see, you got to realise as well, people's place. He was on his holidays, wasn't he? Like they were finished the tour, so he's just getting. He's doing a Tommy Boner.
He threw. So Neil Best was there. Neil Best had a new girlfriend, and he was there shifting her at the table. He was like not talking to anyone. So Chris Jack kind of had it like the lamb obviously there, so like lobbed it at him, hit him in the head, and said, "Mate, like there's other people at the table here, right?"
Brilliant, good on him.
So Bessie's always one to keep a grudge. So that was during the Autumn Internationals. The following summer, Ireland were playing against New Zealand. Chris Jack comes off the bench, or Bestie comes off the bench, like a raving lunatic, running after Jack. And first ruck they got to, he was getting piled into go, "Don't ever throw something at me again."
I thought he was taking him on for the beauty that it was Irish.
What is wrong with you?
Don't ever be that disrespectful to Irish lamb again. Brilliant. But there was another time against Argentina. Do you remember when that kind of nearly kicked off? No. Do you remember Raj knocked over either a penalty or a drop goal? I can't remember what it was. But as he ran back, he did that, where he clips his heels.
Yeah.
And it really annoyed the RJ lads. And they were meant to, the way you're meant to sit with your opposition player sits beside you. Well, they came in and they grabbed all their chairs and they put it around a circle and just all sat together.
Oh, yeah.
And then it nearly kicked off at one point. There was chats about stepping outside and different things like that. There was a few times
it got a bit frosty, and particularly the Alaka-doos then had come over and they'd been drinking all day, so they'd be telling you what they thought of the match. That's why it all finished.
Yeah, we have to wrap it up. I'll never forget though, I was subbing long enough, and to be fair, these meals are in incredible places. Some of the
gorgeous,
beautiful hotels. It is a real privilege, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'll never forget, I was subbing at the time, so was Marcus Horn. And we were down near the exit. We were so far our table, because table number 47 or something like that. But when the waiting staff go in and out, their doors kept hitting off Jenny. And to be fair, Jenny was getting ragged all around the place, and she was there like, "Have a look at that. Jess O'Gara is up there with Dan Carter, Richie McCaw, and I'm getting belted by the door." She said, "When are you going to start making the team, man?"
You know where you stand. I remember they used to have to all get dressed up. Oh, it was wild. Great stuff. Yeah, we'll get into that again, because there's actually so many stories for those after dinner things. We'll do it again. Listen, Happy New Year, Dunners.
Likewise, Tommy.
Myself, Donncha, of course, Jason, who's producing as well, doing a hell of a job too.
What a beauty.
What a beauty as well. The show is brought to you by 15 Kings. Thanks for the support all year long, and look forward to an exciting 2025. The Lions, Six Nations, a whole lot. Great stuff.
Women's World Cup, it's going to be incredible. No one sees us coming. No one sees Ireland coming, lads.
Yeah, big time.
There you go. They're all chatting about England and New Zealand, and there we are, out the outside.
Come on, you girls in green. Yeah. Right, listen. Dunners, enjoy the weekend off. No rugby. I'll catch up with you next week.
Yeah, good on you, Tommy.
Cheers.